Hello and welcome to the 13th tutorial in the Cocos2d C++ physics series, and in this part we're going to be looking at how to create custom physics bodies. We'll be using the source code from tutorial 5 as the base code. If you haven't done it, don't worry, there'll be a link in the description to it. Okay, so when making games, not all of the objects will be primitive shapes such as squares and circles. Take a look at this paddle, which will be in our game Glo Breaker via a future update, and we will show you how to create custom physics bodies for it, and you'll be able to adapt this tutorial to more complex or different sprites and objects. So here we go. If we were to do like a rectangle, the issue we'll have is there'll be a blank area here, basically a triangle, and one here, and there'll be a huge area here that objects wouldn't be able to go within, even though physically they should be able to. Hence, we're going to use a custom physics body so we can just draw around it. And obviously, if we were to do a circle, it wouldn't work well either. So let's just go ahead. Firstly, you will want to download a tool to provide this functionality. We will be using Physics Body Editor, and mainly because it is free. There are better ones out there, and if you want to pay for one of the better ones, because they do offer a lot of extra features, but Physics Body Editor is free. Let me just show you where you can get it from. So if you just type in Physics Body Editor into Google, let's go into the first link here, and this is basically the tool you want to download. So there should be a download link right here, and you want to get this. So go into downloads. There's a bunch of different downloads. You don't want the Box2D editor or anything. You want the Physics Body Editor. I'm using 2.9.2, that's the latest version. The upload date was May 2012, so it's a couple of years old, but it works great. And that is it, so let's just go ahead and open it up. It is a jar file, so once that is open, so let's just create a new project. I'm going to save it to my desktop, so desktop, and I'm going to call this paddle.json. It has to be a JSON file. Make sure you put the JSON extension. I'll find that the tool doesn't or hasn't done for me, and it messes up the file. So you want to do paddle.json, click save, then you want to click new for rigid body. You can either create a body from image, a new empty body, or bodies from multiple images. I recommend this. Actually, this is what we are going to be doing in our final game, because we're going to have different size paddles, different types of paddles, so we'll just encompass it all within a paddle.json file, and then you can load it up depending on what sort of paddle you want. But we're just going to do create body from image for this tutorial, and I'm going to get paddle.png from our desktop, click save, or open up, I believe it was. Just rename this to paddle, and this is how we'll be accessing it within code. The name of it, so you can have different, like paddle 1, paddle 2, paddle small, paddle large. There's dynamic objects which are coming soon. Don't know when they are coming because this hasn't been updated for a couple of years, by the looks of it. Dynamic objects basically allow deformation to that object. Simply put, if you bounce a ball and you slow it down, you can see the ball squash. That's the sort of thing that dynamic objects will allow you, but I think for the most part rigid bodies are fine. So in here, what we're going to do, oops, did not want to do that. I'm going to click auto trace, click OK. As you can see, it doesn't, not a fan of the controls, but it doesn't do the best job. You can see it's sort of got the outline going, but it's just not quite there. So you want to click on this middle section here, so edition, basically the editor mode, so you can select different points. I'm going to delete quite a lot of the points because don't actually need them. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one, and now these remaining points I'm just going to move them around until I'm happy with the object. Also, here's some other properties down here. I'm going to click enable snap to grid, and I'm going to decrease the grid immensely. So as you can see, it is snapping instead of being freeform. And let's just move this one over here. Move this one over here. This one needs to go up here. And I'm pretty happy with the result there. It's a bit not so good here, but I think for the purpose of this tutorial, this is a-okay. What you can do is now just click save. Save successfully done. Now that we have created the outfit for this body, we need to implement the code to load it. But before we implement the code, we need a body parser from GitHub. The link will be in the description. And what we can do is show you where to get it as well. Let's go back. The download page. Where is the GitHub page for this? Oops, my bad, forgot all about it. It's not via this, it's from another GitHub page, but like I said, the link will be in the description. And the files that you need are, let's just open this up. You will need the mybodyparser.h, a mybodyparser, and I'm going to get it from an existing project. So it is over here, the mybodyparser CPP, or mybodyparser H. Like I said, there'll be a link in the description, so don't worry. I'm going to go back to desktop, go to physics tutorial classes, copy and paste it here. Now open up our project. We can drag and drop this mybodyparser on. Add it to the Mac as well if you're developing for that. Just click finish. Now in here, I'm going to do hash include mybodyparser.h. And what we're going to do is actually just remove this code here. We can do auto sprite equals sprite : create. Actually, also I forgot that I've not put the paddle here. My bad, I will put the paddle here, and we need the JSON file as well, so copy and paste this into the resources folder. The PNG you will obviously want to put within the multi-resolution folders, so because we're going to be running on an iPhone Retina, I'm going to put it within iPhone HD. Just for the purpose of this tutorial, there's just one, but obviously make sure you have it for the different resolutions. Paddle.json, it's not loaded in the same way as an image is, therefore you only need the one for different sizes, which is fantastic. Actually, I want to open this up and show you something really cool. Once it's opened up, you can see these numbers 00, 0.15, and if you notice, none of these numbers go above 1, or the highest they'll go is to 1, and the reason is these aren't pixel values. These are, you can think of these as percentage values. Obviously, if you multiply it by 100, it's just saying, let's get this one here, that the x on this particular point is 0.84 across on a particular image, that which will be the paddle.png. Therefore, when we use a bigger asset, we don't have to create an entire new JSON, which is fantastic. I love how they've done the JSON file for that, but you can just leave it here. What I like to do, I know I'm talking quite a lot in this tutorial, but I think there's quite a lot of information that needs to be covered. What I like to do is also create a folder. I'm not going to do for this tutorial, but I like to create a folder for stuff so I can group it up. For example, we got some bodies, so I would call them physics bodies, and or paddles or whatever. And we just need to import this one because this isn't within the folder. Click finish. And now what we're going to do is do paddle.png. Then we're going to do sprite, set position, do point. And in here we're going to do visible size.width. Actually, I can copy and paste it from here so it's a little quicker. Next step is to do mybodyparser : get instance, parse JSON file, and for this we're going to do paddle.json. JSON. Then the next thing we're going to do is auto sprite body. We're going to create our physics body now, equal to my body person colon get instance body from JSON. I don't know if that is meant to be body from JSON, but either way, that's what it's named. I'm gonna put sprite. Yeah, so you right here you specify your Cocos2d node, so it is sprite for us. Then you specify your paddle or your body name. I'm gonna put paddle. That's what we called it. And then we just specify some physics material. I'm gonna put physics material. And in here I'm going to put 1, 1, 0. Then just do a simple if statement that just says if sprite body is not equal to null pointer, then sprite body set dynamic. I'm going to set dynamic to false. Sprite set physics body to sprite body. I'm going to set dynamic to false, so it's just static and it just remains where it is. And we'll put it to true in a moment as well, so you can see it moving around. But again, this just depends on what you want your game to do. Finally, just going to add it. So this add child sprite. Now if you run this, okie dokie, didn't pop up the. Let's have a look if everything is a-okay. It says paddle. Let's just open it up again, the file. Name is paddle. But let's just do a quick CC log in here to make sure that it's even getting into here. So yeah, it's getting into there. So we should be assigning the physics body sprite body. Make sure this is correct. So my body parser get instance body form JSON sprite paddle physics material, and that is what we called it, I believe, in here. We did indeed, and I believe we did click save as well. Go back to the desktop. It seems weird, and there's one last thing I'm going to try. What we're going to try is just deleting this file. Then product clean. Now run this. It's going to take a little while to compile, but this is, I believe this is going to be the issue. They just haven't been cleaned. while this just compiles, what I'm going to do is show you some of the other tools that you can use. There's one called Physics Packer. Physics Editor, sorry. And this is a really good tool. It is paid. It's not very expensive at all. And there's another great tool called Texture Packer. It allows you to obviously just pack all the images together, basically create sprite sheets, reduce file size, improve importing. And the automatic shape trace, I've got to say, on Physics Editor is really good. Every time I've used it, it's done an amazing job, much better than what Physics Body Editor. Again, Physics Body Editor is free. Yeah, it's still not popping up the. Let's go back to Xcode. So we got paddle.png, paddle.json right here. What I'm going to do, let's go back to here, and I'm going to create a new project just in case, just for some reason didn't save correctly, which can happen sometimes. Stuff like that does happen. I'm going to leave it, I'm going to rename it to paddle cool. And then I'm going to save it. Open this up, make sure no, see. And the funny feeling that had happened. Just close this. I'm going to reopen it. We'll just force quit the application actually. Okay, so new project. Go to desktop. I want to call it paddle free. New, create body from paddle.png. Rename it to paddle cool. Auto trace. I'll leave the auto trace as it is. Because obviously you can modify it in your own time. I'll show you how to modify it before. And what I've found is with this tool, sometimes you do have to do it multiple times. It doesn't quite always work the first time. And that's just, from what I found personally, just a problem with the tool. But again, I do like the tool because it is free and it is simple to use. So let's go ahead, leave paddle free, copy and paste it into resources. Then import it here, finish, and change that to paddle free, change that to paddle cool. Now let's just run this and see what happens. There we go, we've got it rendered and running. That was, like I said, it was just an issue with the tool. Sometimes it doesn't save it correctly and then you just have to redo it, so just be patient with the tool. You might think about what's this little line here. If I open it up, there was no line. I find that, where is it? Here we go. I find that sometimes they have a low line, but when you're actually moving the object around or stuff is hitting it, it doesn't actually collide with this little line here. It will just collide with the actual body you created within the application. So let's just go ahead, and before we end this tutorial, there's a few things I want to show you. First of all, it's going to disable gravity. And another thing I'm going to do is sprite body apply impulse. So it's going to move the object 50. Oh, forgot it needs to be dynamic. Forgot all about that for a second then. Still not moving. Gravity is set to 0. We are moving the sprite body. Let's just have a look at set velocity 540. Okay, yeah, that was weird why the impulse didn't work. But as you can see, the line isn't actually affecting the collision, but it is colliding properly with how it should be, so it's not colliding in a square-like manner or in a circular manner. The one last thing I'm going to show you is, let's compile for Android. This is something I think it definitely should show you. So if I just go to project.android and drag and drop this file here, now click enter, let's let it run. It has now failed. It failed basically when we was trying to load in the JSON file, and this is because it requires some extra JSON files the Android version does, and it's not included properly. Luckily they are available in the Cocos2d external folder. So if you go to Cocos2d, go to external, the folder right here called JSON, and we need to copy and paste the JSON folder into the classic folder like so. We don't need to add it to the physics, our project right here, because iOS is fine with it. But now if we build this project again, let's just clear this. Still moaning about something, but let's just have a what it's moaning about. Know what it's moaning about now. J and I. This needs to be updated, obviously. Forgot all about it then. Copy and paste that, put a // here on me. Now I'm going to change this to my body parser. Save it. And before we actually do run it, I'm going to get the classic folder, just remove this JSON folder so we can show you the error that you should be getting if you don't have the JSON folder there. Okay, so you'll get a similar error to this. It's moaning about the my body parser, and it's actually compiling the my body parser now. And like I said, the way you want to fix it is go to Cocos2d, external, JSON, copy and paste that into classic folder. Now if you run this, it has successfully compiled our Android project, and now this is ready to run. I'm not going to bother running this because we've got plenty of tutorials showing you how to do that. That is it for this tutorial. I know it's been one, a long tutorial, two, there's been a few mistakes in there, and some of them my fault, some of them were sort of out of my control. Like the application related stuff, I have those issues regardless, and I find other people have those issues. So it's something that you just need to get over and just keep doing until it works. Exactly, I think it's good that that those issues came up, simply because you can see that those issues do occur, and if you have it in your own project or while you're doing the physics body, you know that you're not doing something wrong most likely, and you just need to redo it. And here, when I forgot to include this in the Android MK file right here, that was my bad, but there you go. That is how to create custom physics bodies using the physics body editor tool. You can use physics editor, it's a paid tool, but it is good, and had showed you how to run it for Android as well and overcome some error. In the next part of this series, which will actually be the last part of this series as well, we're just going to quickly go over some extra tips. If you have any questions, feel free to message us at support@sonarsystems.co.uk. The email will be in the description. You can comment on this video or just directly message us via YouTube. All the required links for source code will also be in the description, along along with the link for the my body parser H and CPP files. And as usual, thank you for watching, thank you for bearing with me on this tutorial, and as usual, hope you have a great day.